Good afternoon, my name is Eric Johnson, and today I'm going to be doing a persuasive speech on women and men being equal in sports. My opinion on the topic is that women and men are not equal in sports. This topic hits home to me because my junior year of high school, I played baseball with a girl. There was a star softball player at my school, and she wanted to try something new, and that trying something new eventually came out to be playing baseball. She came out, she tried her for the team, and my coach was not able to cut her on the basis of her being a girl. So she eventually made the team, and throughout the season, she was the worst player on the team. She was weaker, she was slower, and she was less skilled than even the lesser male players on the team. And this was a girl who eventually came out to be a Division I softball player, but when it came to average high school baseball, she was awful. Now, the intention of my argument is not to demean or tear down any female athletes, as there are great female athletes across the world. I just want to give my reasoning as to why I believe they are not equal in sports. There are things that females can do that men cannot do. For example, it would not make sense for a 280-pound defensive lineman to try to do a backflip on a balance beam like Simone Biles would, in the same way that it wouldn't make sense for a 100-pound gymnast to try and sack a quarterback like Aaron Donald would. Now, the first reason behind why I believe women and men are not equal in sports is the influence that they have. Influence meaning the endorsements and the salaries that professional athletes make, the amount of people that watch the sports, and the overall number of athletes involved in the sports. Starting with the endorsements and salaries, men will make a significantly larger amount in salaries and endorsements compared to their female counterparts. For example, UFC fighter Conor McGregor on average makes $7 million per year in endorsements, whereas the most famous fighter on the earth, Ronda Rousey, only makes $3.5 million per year. For the amount of people that watch the sports, in 2017, the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers were set for their third straight matchup in the NBA Finals. The finals went 5 games, and each game on average had at least 20 million viewers. I mean, a part of that comes from people that are playing in the game. Who doesn't want to watch Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant go up against LeBron James? Whereas in 2017, the WNBA Finals went 5 games, and they only averaged 500,000 per game. Now, unless you're a true WNBA fan or you're just a girl who loves basketball, you're probably not going to tune in to watch Maya Moore and the Minnesota Lynx play Candace Parker and the Los Angeles Sparks. Lastly is the amount of athletes that are involved in these sports. Tennis is a sport that's pretty equal. I mean, it's a sport that men and women even play together. But that doesn't make sense as to why there are 1,265 professional females in the sport compared to the large number of 1,916 males involved in the sport. The second reason why I believe that men and women are not equal is the performance level and the body types. At puberty, men's bodies start to produce more testosterone, and testosterone is a building block for muscle growth. That muscle growth leads people to run faster, be stronger, jump higher, and do all sorts of things that they were not as good as before. And that eventually leads to men being better equipped for high contact and violent sports than women would be. As it's said that women will actually get hurt more in high contact and violent sports than men would. And as the performance gap goes, Eladi Potisio said that the performance gap between women and men is around 8 to 12%. Now that means around 10% that even the top women performers in their sports are still behind 10% of men. And the last reason behind my argument is the mindset in the way that they are treated. So, when sports were created, they were originally designed by men for men. They were made to show attributes like strength, speed, and all of the things that it took to play these sports. And for a long time, men were the only ones that were allowed to play sports, and they were the only ones involved in sports. But as women started to integrate into sports more, they would notice that they are not as physically strong, they are not as fast, and they cannot excel to the same level that men could, so they had to change the rules and obligations to sports to suit them. And the last reason is the way they are treated. my junior year when that girl came out and she played baseball, that everyone applauded her, everyone congratulated her, everyone was on board for it. But if it was the other way around, and myself or any of my other male teammates would have tried to play softball, we would have been tossed away at the first sound of us saying that, because I mean, you know, they would have said that it's not equal or it's not a fair playing ground. But how is it a fair playing ground when a girl comes over to a man's sport? And reasons as to why women and men are not equal in sports. But I feel that someday we can close this gap by coming together as a sporting community and creating rules and obligations that do not give either sex a clear advantage in the sport, or we come together and we make a sport overall that doesn't discriminate, it doesn't give either sex a clear advantage.